Hey guys. I headed out to Olympic National Forest to hike Mount Ellinor this past week. I was the first one to the trailhead, and by afternoon, only a few other hikers were on the mountain. The trail got quite steep and snowy about a half mile before the top, and I didn't make it all the way up because I had to get back to town for work, but the views along the way were well worth the trek. I recently read a story about Walt Disney's plans to build a ski resort inside of what is now Sequoia National Park. In the 1960s, the U.S. Forest Service began taking bids for the recreational development of Mineral King. Disney presented plans for a $35 million ski resort equipped with 22 ski lifts, a 1,000-room hotel, and an 8-story parking garage. He won the bid, and shortly after, the Sierra Club filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Secretary of the Interior, arguing the development of such a project would harm the public interest. The lawsuit initially halted development, but was later overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court, who argued that the Sierra Club failed to bring sufficient evidence of harm that would be done to the Sierra Club by the resort. In a famous dissent, Justice William Douglas argued that the natural resources should be able to sue for their own protection. If they cannot speak for themselves, then at a minimum, the people who go to these places and live in these lands ought to be allowed to speak for them. While the Sierra Club failed in their initial attempt to stop the project, they filed another lawsuit, this time on behalf of individual people who frequented Mineral King. The court upheld this lawsuit as the Sierra Club now had evidence of acute ways in which the resort would cause harm to the land and therefore impact the people. Mineral King was never developed due to multiple other factors that slowed the process and was eventually designated a part of Sequoia National Park, protected for future generations to enjoy. I've often felt that going to these beautiful remote areas is mostly out of my own selfish interests. I find peace and quiet out here, a place to get away for a while. But this story is evidence that when we frequent these wild places, we are keeping them alive. We are the voice for clean water, fresh air, the trees, and the soil. We are the peace that exists here. So share these spaces with your friends. Bring others out here and show them the beauty and life that exists in these places. Help them understand that this is where our water comes from, and this is where the trees give us air to breathe.